Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
She pulled her coat tighter against the November wind as we stepped out of the cozy Italian restaurant where we just celebrated our 3rd anniversary. My girlfriend, Claire, had been glowing all evening, laughing at my stupid jokes, squeezing my hand under the table, posting a quick photo of our desserts with the caption, "Best date night ever." I remember feeling like everything was finally clicking into place. We'd survived the long-distance phase early on, the arguments about money when she switched jobs, even the rough patch last winter when her mom got sick. Things felt steady. We walked toward the subway, her arm looped through mine, talking about maybe booking that cabin in the mountains for New Year's. She mentioned her coworker Alex was throwing an after-work holiday party the following Friday, and how the whole marketing team was going. "You should come," she said, leaning her head on my shoulder. "It'll be fun to show you off to everyone." I smiled and said I'd try to wrap up my project early so I could swing by. Friday came faster than expected. Work ran late for me, client calls dragging into the evening, and by the time I texted her that I was heading over, she replied with a string of heart emojis and, "Hurry, we're doing shots." I arrived around 10, the bar already packed with her colleagues. Music thumped, fairy lights strung across the ceiling, people shouting over each other to be heard. I spotted her almost immediately at a high-top table near the back, surrounded by a group I didn't recognize as well as a few faces I'd met before. She waved enthusiastically when she saw me, weaving through the crowd to pull me into a hug that smelled like tequila and her vanilla perfume. "You made it!" she shouted over the noise, kissing my cheek. She introduced me quickly to the cluster around the table, lingering a second longer when she got to Alex. Tall guy, easy smile, the kind of effortless charisma that makes strangers laugh within minutes. "This is Alex," she said, her hand resting lightly on his forearm. "He's the one who planned all this." He shook my hand firmly, said something welcoming I couldn't quite catch, and offered to grab me a drink. The night unfolded normally at first. I chatted with a couple of her teammates I'd met at previous company events, nursed a beer while she bounced between conversations, clearly in her element. Every so often she'd circle back to me, slipping an arm around my waist, whispering something silly in my ear. But as the hours wore on and the drinks kept flowing, I noticed the distance growing, not physical exactly, but something subtler. She'd laugh at Alex's stories a beat longer, lean in when he spoke, touch his sleeve when making a point that I told myself it was nothing. Office friends, holiday cheer, everyone was loose. Around midnight, I felt the long week catching up, eyes heavy, voice hoarse from shouting over the music. I found her by the bar, waiting for another round. "Hey," I said, touching her elbow gently. "I'm gonna head home soon. Early call tomorrow. You staying much longer?" She turned, cheeks flushed, eyes bright. "Already?" she pouted playfully. "We're just getting to the good part. Alex says there's an after-party at his place. Rooftop, fire pit, the works." She gestured vaguely toward the group. "Come with us." I glanced at the clock on my phone. "I really can't. I've got that presentation at 9. I paused, keeping my tone light. "You going?" She shrugged, smiling. "Probably. Everyone else is. I'll Uber home later, promise." She kissed me quickly. "Text me when you get in safe." I nodded, not wanting to turn it into a thing in front of her coworkers. "Okay, have fun. Love you." "Love you too," she called as I headed out, already turning back to the bar. The cold air hit me hard on the street, sobering me instantly. I walked the few blocks to my apartment in silence, replaying the evening. Nothing dramatic had happened. No fights, no obvious red flags, just a quiet unease I couldn't name. I texted her once I was inside, "Home safe. Night." She replied almost immediately with a heart and sleeping emoji. I woke up Saturday morning to an empty bed and no messages. Not unusual. She often crashed at her friend Sarah's after late nights, but by noon, still nothing. I sent a casual check-in. "You alive?" She responded an hour later. "Yeah. Sorry, phone died. Crashed at Sarah's. Heading home soon." Relief mixed with lingering irritation. I spent the day running errands, hitting the gym, trying not to overthink. When she finally walked through the door around 4, she looked exhausted. Hair in a messy bun, last night's makeup smudged. She dropped her bag, kicked off her shoes, and flopped onto the couch beside me. "Rough night?" I asked, half teasing. She groaned dramatically. "You have no idea. Too many espresso martinis." She leaned over to kiss my cheek. "Missed you this morning." We ordered Thai food, watched a movie, fell into the old rhythm. She didn't mention the after-party beyond a vague, "It was fun." And I didn't press. Some battles aren't worth picking. Sunday passed quietly. Monday, she left for work early, kissing me goodbye like always. Tuesday evening, she came home late, said the team was prepping for a big client pitch. Wednesday, same thing. By Thursday, the pattern felt heavier. Texts during the day shorter, evenings spent scrolling silently beside me on the couch. I asked once if everything was okay at work. She said yeah, just stressed, big deadlines. Friday night, she announced she was going out again. Quick drinks with the team to celebrate landing the pitch. I raised an eyebrow. Again. She laughed it off. "Come on. It's been a crazy week. I need to unwind." She promised to be home by midnight. She wasn't. I stayed up later than I meant to, flipping through channels, checking my phone. At 1:30 a.m., I texted, "Everything good?" No reply. At 2:45, another, "Heading to bed. Text when you're on your way." Still nothing. I woke up around 8 Saturday to sunlight streaming through the blinds and the apartment still empty. My stomach tightened. I called, no answer. Texted again. Waited. By 10, I was pacing. Not angry yet, just worried in that way that starts eating at you. At 11:17, my phone buzzed. A message from her. "I'm so sorry. I messed up bad. It just happened with Alex. I don't even know how. Please don't hate me." I read it 3 times before the words sank in. The room felt suddenly too quiet. My hands went numb around the phone. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the screen, waiting for more. An explanation, a call, anything. Nothing came. I don't know how long I sat there. Eventually, I typed back a single word. "Okay." Then I blocked her number. Blocked her on everything, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, even Venmo, out of sheer thoroughness. I didn't scream, didn't throw anything. Just methodical, quiet deletion of every digital thread connecting us. I showered, dressed, went for a long run even though my body felt like lead. Came back, made coffee I didn't drink. Friends started texting by afternoon. Sarah first. "Have you heard from Claire?" "I heard something happened." Then Mike from her team. "Dude, I'm sorry. Alex is an asshole." I replied to each with short thanks, no details. Didn't ask questions. Didn't need to. Word spread quickly in our overlapping circles. Apparently, she'd gone home with Alex after the bar, spent the night, woke up regretting everything. Told Sarah everything in a tearful call Saturday morning. Sarah told someone else. By Sunday, most mutual friends knew that I spent the weekend alone, cleaning the apartment top to bottom, deleting photos one by one. Vacations in Maine, her birthday surprise, stupid selfies from concerts. Not out of spite, just because looking at them hurt in a way I didn't want to carry anymore. Monday, I went to work early, stayed late. Tuesday, same. The routine became armor. Friends checked in constantly at first, invites to grab drinks, offers to come over. I accepted a few, declined most. Needed space more than company. About 2 weeks later, Claire and Alex became official, at least online. She posted a photo of them at a holiday market. His arm around her, both smiling wide, captioned something about unexpected joy. Mutual friends sent screenshots with apologies. I looked once, felt the stab, then kept scrolling. They showed up together at group events I skipped. Brunch spots we used to love. Posts popped up in my feed before I muted her accounts entirely. She looked happy in pictures, laughing, glowing, the way she used to look with me. I didn't react. Didn't comment. Didn't message anyone asking for updates. Just kept moving, work promotions, new gym routine, weekend hikes with guys from my office. Slowly, the ache dulled from sharp to background noise. Christmas came and went. I spent it with my family upstate, no drama, no questions about her. Came home refreshed. January brought snow and longer nights. I started seeing someone casually, coffee dates, nothing serious. Felt good to remember I could still connect with people. Then, mid-February, things shifted. First, Alex's stories went quiet. Then couple photos disappeared from both their profiles. Friends started dropping hints without prompting. Heard Alex has been seeing someone else. Claire's been really down lately. I didn't ask for details. Didn't need to feed the curiosity. By early March, the full picture emerged through fragments. Apparently, Alex had been texting another coworker the whole time. Someone newer, younger, shinier. Claire found out when the girl posted something careless. Confrontation happened publicly, at a team happy hour, no less. Raised voices, tears, Alex brushing it off with a laugh. Someone recorded part of it. Clips circulated in private chats before disappearing. Friends forwarded it with reluctant apologies. I watched once. She looked devastated, voice cracking as she asked why he bothered making it official if he never meant it. He shrugged, said it just happened with the other girl too, that I didn't feel triumph. Just a quiet recognition. Patterns repeat. Her posts turned introspective after that, quotes about growth, self-love, learning from mistakes. A few clearly aimed at me. Silence speaks louder than words sometimes. Wish I could go back and choose differently. I never engaged. Then the indirect messages began. Mutual friends relaying, "She's really sorry. She knows she hurt you badly. Wants to apologize in person if you'll let her." I responded the same each time. "I'm good. Wish her well." Spring arrived. I ran a half marathon I'd signed up for on a whim. Work sent me to a conference in Austin, new city, new faces, good distraction. Came home feeling lighter than I had in months. One warm May evening. There was a rooftop birthday party for our friend Jess, someone we'd both known since college. I almost skipped, but Jess texted personally, "Would mean a lot if you came." I went. Claire was there. She looked smaller somehow, hair shorter, makeup minimal, eyes scanning the crowd nervously. When she spotted me, she froze mid-conversation. I nodded politely, then turned back to Jess. Spent the night catching up with people I hadn't seen in ages, laughing genuinely for the first time in a while. Near the end of the night, she approached while I was grabbing a water from the cooler. "Hi," she said softly. "Hi," I replied, keeping my tone neutral. She shifted weight between her feet. "Can we talk for a minute?" I considered, then nodded toward a quieter corner of the rooftop. We stood by the railing, city lights sprawling below. She took a shaky breath. "I know I don't deserve this chance, but I need to say I'm sorry. What I did to you was awful. I threw away something real for nothing. I was selfish and stupid, and I hate that I hurt you." I listened, hands in my pockets, wind cool against my face. "I've spent months hating myself for it," she continued, voice cracking. Seeing how easily I believed his attention meant something. Realizing too late what I lost. I nodded slowly. "I appreciate the apology." Her eyes searched mine, hopeful. "Does that mean maybe we could get coffee sometime? Talk more?" I looked out over the skyline for a long moment. "I don't think so, Claire. I've made peace with how things ended. I don't need to reopen it." Tears welled up. "I understand. I miss you. Miss us." I met her gaze steadily. "I don't. Not anymore." The words weren't cruel, just honest. She flinched slightly, wiped her eyes quickly. "I really am sorry," she whispered one last time. "I know," I said. "Take care of yourself." I walked away then, found Jess to say goodbye, headed home alone but not lonely. The next morning, I woke to sunlight and quiet and the clearest sense of forward motion I'd felt in a year. No anger left. No lingering what-ifs. Just the simple truth that some doors close for good reasons. She'd chosen a fleeting spark over something steady. And when that spark burned out exactly as expected, she'd learned the cost. I didn't need to witness the fallout or offer forgiveness on her timeline. Moving on just happened, and it felt like the best thing that ever did.